I am going to be reading spooky stories for Halloween, and these are supposed to be for kids, so hopefully, I know it seems a little counterintuitive, but I hope that, you're still able to relax and sleep after I say these. So this one is called Rap, Rap, Rap. There was a woman who lived all alone in an old dark house. When she moved in, she heard rumors from her neighbors that the house was haunted, but she didn't believe them. One night, as she was lying in bed, the woman heard a strange sound. Rap, rap, rap. She lay perfectly still and listened, but she didn't hear anything more. She thought maybe it was her mind playing tricks on her. However, just as she was going to go back to sleep, it happened again. Rap, rap, rap. This time, she knew it was real, and she couldn't ignore it. She had to get out of bed and investigate. She cautiously opened her bedroom door and heard the sound again. This time it was louder. Rap, rap, rap. She walked down the hallway, following the sound. It seemed to be coming from downstairs. Rap, rap, rap. She headed down the stairs, clinging tightly to the banister. Rap, rap, rap. She followed the noise until she came to the hall closet under the stairs. It was so loud. Rap, rap, rap. The sound was coming from inside the closet. The woman stood there trembling with fear. Her heart was beating fast. She reached out, grasped the doorknob in her hand, and opened the door. Rap, rap, rap. Inside the closet, there was a chest of drawers. She opened the top drawer, but there was nothing there. Rap, rap, rap. She opened the middle drawer, but it was empty. Rap, rap, rap. Then she opened the bottom drawer and saw what was making the noise. It was a roll of wrapping paper. That's silly. Okay. Let's see. The 13th floor. Let's see what this one is. Oh well, this one's called the 13th floor. If you live in or visit a building without a 13th floor, this story is an excellent way to explain why the number isn't used in the elevator. Use your best judgment over whether your child is mature enough to handle this tale. Those over 7 years old should enjoy this one. The first hotel to have more than 13 floors had a huge Halloween party to celebrate its opening. Each floor was set up like a maze, decorated with cobwebs and other Halloween decorations. There were lots of people dressed up as ghosts and ghouls to frighten the partygoers. An exciting prize was hidden on the top floor, and the first person to reach the prize would win it. Jack and Sophia were two of the partygoers. They worked their way easily through the mazes on the first few floors, and they headed up through the building. The hallways on each floor got darker and scarier. When they got to the 12th floor, Jack and Sophia heard a blood-curdling scream. As they made their way through the maze, they heard more screams and cries for help. Finally, in the lobby by the elevators, they saw blood dripping from the ceiling. The elevator dinged and the door slowly opened, which was strange because every other night they used the elevator, the doors had been quick and smooth. The light in the elevator was flickering as they stepped in, and as the doors began to close, the lights went out completely. And then screams so loud the entire building heard them begin to ring out. At first, the partygoers thought it was part of the scary Halloween theme, but then the owners of the building turned on all the lights and asked everyone to return to the lobby. This one's kind of scary. What the heck? But when people tried to use the elevator, it never came. The bell would ding, but the doors wouldn't open, and they were all forced to use the stairs. Down in the lobby, the building owners explained they had not played the sounds of the screams, and as they did a check of everyone who had come back, they realized Jack and Sophia had not returned. Just then, the doors to the elevator opened. It was empty except for Jack's watch, one of Sophia's shoes, and a pool of blood. Jack and Sophia were never seen again, and the building owners took away the button for the 13th floor so nobody would disappear there again. What kind of story was that? Tommy knockers are the spirits of departed miners that help miners find ore. They also knock on the walls of the mines right before a cave-in. When you hear a Tommy knocker knocking, it's best to depart the area right quick. They have saved the life of many a miner who has been in a danger. Some folks say that the very first man to hear the sound is jinxed, but that is not always the case. It's important to stay on the good side of the Tommy knockers. Many miners had leave a bit of their lunch for the spirits, and to please them, they fashioned little clay figures of their spirits. The Tommy knockers can be spiteful creatures if they don't like you. One unlucky miner named Eddie became a target of the Tommy knockers. They drove him crazy, pelting him with stones, stealing his tools, blowing out his lantern. He couldn't figure out why the Tommy knockers had signaled him out until one day he heard a voice calling to him from the dark, opening up a nearby shaft. "Eddie, I want my $5, the Tommy knocker said. Eddie was so startled he dropped his tool all over the ground. The voice sounded just like that of his old friend Joe, who had died in a cave-in a few months back. Eddie had borrowed $5 from Joe, and he never returned it. Eddie went into the shaft, and sure enough, there was Joe Trelawney's ghost, shrunk to the size of a 2-foot dwarf with a big ugly head, large ears, and a crooked nose. He wore a peaked hat, a leather jacket, and water-soaked leather boots. The Tommy knocker was not pleased to see Eddie. "Give me back my $5, Eddie," the ghost of his old friend demanded. "I don't have any money on me, Joe," Eddie said, patting his pockets for emphasis. "I've heard that before," said the Tommy knocker dryly. "I didn't believe it then, and I don't believe it now." The Tommy knocker disappeared into thin air, leaving an uneasy Eddie to wonder what the ghost would do next. He soon found out. All day long, Eddie was plagued by the Tommy knocker. His ladder was shaken so hard that he almost fell. The loud tapping noise of an invisible drill nearly drove him mad. He just missed being buried by a rock fall, and through it all, Joe's voice would taunt him. "Give me back my $5, Eddie." "All right, Joe, all right," Eddie finally yelled into the mouth of the tunnel where his friend had appeared. "I'll get your bloody $5. Abandoning his work for the day, Eddie made the long climb to the surface and took $5 silver from the money box he kept under a loose board in his bedroom. Then he climbed back down into the mine and stuck the $5 into a crack in the wall next to the place Joe's spirit had appeared to him. "There's your $5, Joe," Eddie shouted, his voice echoing oddly in the dark tunnel. "It's about bloody time," Joe said, appearing next to him and peering critically into the crack where the money lay. "Are you going to leave me alone now?" Eddie asked. The Tommy knocker grinned impishly at Eddie. "Maybe," he said. He scooped up the $5 silver and disappeared into the dark. Oh, that one was kind of cute, to be honest. Okay, that one was a lot better. There was a woman who lived in a remote village in the countryside. Every evening, she took her dog for a walk in the forest. One evening, they strayed off the path and came to an area that was completely unfamiliar to her. From a distance, she saw the old ruins of a stone wall, and there was something green on it. As she walked closer to the wall, she was able to make out a message written in a ghastly green layer of glowing slime. It read, "Do not go to the magic castle at midnight." She had heard rumors about a magic castle in the forest. The villagers told scary stories about the castle and claimed that it was haunted. The woman was very curious and wondered what would be in the castle. Why would someone write a message warning people not to go there? Her curiosity got the better of her, and she decided to visit the castle that very night. Shortly before midnight, the woman arrived at a clearing in the woods. In front of her stood the magic castle. It looked old, uninhabited, and dilapidated. Even from the outside, it smelled of damp mold and rotting wood. On the door, there was another message in green, slimy letters. It read, "Do not enter." She reached out and touched the front door. It It opened with a loud and ominous creak. The woman walked into the hallway. On the floor, she saw a painting of a gruesome red skull. Beside it, in slimy green letters, was the message, "Do not go one step further." The woman was overcome by curiosity and paid no attention to the warning. She just kept right on walking until she came to a staircase that led up to the next level. On the bottom step, there was another warning sign written in the same green slimy letters. It read, "Do not go up these stairs." Naturally, the woman paid no heed to the warning and started walking up the stairs. The steps were made of wood and they creaked terribly at every footfall. When she reached the top, the woman found herself in front of a large oak door. There was yet another warning on it. Written in the same green slime, it read, "Do not open this door." And what did the woman do? She opened the door. Very slowly and gently she pushed the door and it creaked open, inch by inch. Then she stood in a dark room. She couldn't see anything. As her eyes adjusted to the darkness, she saw a large oblong box in the middle of the room. It glowed with a greenish hue. Once again she saw a warning in green slime. It read, "Do not open this coffin." The woman wondered what would be in the coffin. Slowly she pushed the heavy lid of the coffin to the side. Filled with excitement and dread, she looked inside and saw many colorful Smarties. Okay, that was nice to end off this video so that you can actually sleep tonight. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all are excited for Halloween as I am. I love dressing up. I love going to the Halloween store. I love carving pumpkins, going to the pumpkin patch, baking pumpkin bread, all of that. I hope that you are enjoying it, and I will see you in my next video.